So I'm going to predict every free agent and not every free agent, the starters and all stars that their free agency. Let's see if they leave or not, and maybe some teams for some of the players if they're going to leave. Let's start it out with Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook is going to stay in LA because he loves it there. It actually like one of the places where he felt like he is like actually with the fans together. He's pretty happy there, and Russ is probably gonna stay. D'Angelo Russell is a different story, but I still think he's gonna stay with a lower deal. But if Austin Reeves get a huge deal and Rui Hachimura, he might be gone, sign and traded to somewhere. So it's different. He might stay, but he might get signed and traded as well. Harrison Barnes, I think he'll stay. He played with Sacramento for a while now, and I think he's a good veteran piece for them. Karis LeVert is a little harder to stay because he sometimes played well, but sometimes didn't. But I think he'll stay with Cleveland. Gary Trent Jr., I think he's going to leave because there's a lot of rumors that he was the one that's going to leave, or Fred VanVleet. So, yeah. Malik Beasley probably will leave as well. He did not play much at all in the playoffs for the Lakers. And I believe there was like a rumor that said he and Mo Bamba will probably leave. Christian Wood might stay because the Dallas will want to contend. And they are probably going to be wanting Christian Wood back because he's a decent player for them. But there was like a point where Dallas wanted to trade Wood as well. So, Kyle Kuzma, he might be gone because the Wizards' new management wants to rebuild. But if they don't, I think they'll keep him as well. Jordan Clarkson, he will stay with the Jazz probably because the Jazz like Clarkson as a player, and he could be a veteran mentor to the new players coming soon. Josh Hart is going to stay as well. Josh Hart loves to be at New York, so he's going to stay. Kelly Oubre probably will leave because Charlotte is rumored to get Brandon Miller, which will replace Oubre probably in the lineup. And Oubre is kind of a veteran now, so Charlotte might want to be younger. Oubre will probably leave in free agency. Josh Richardson's, now I don't really know anything about this, so I have not really much to say about Richardson. Dylan Brooks, he'll probably leave because Memphis, like, there was like a Shams put an article on how Memphis won't resign him in any circumstances, so he'll probably go to the Rockets, to be honest. The Rockets are like the only team interested in him, and I believe they will be able to get him. Alec Burks is probably going to stay because a lot of people wanted him in the trades deadline, but Alec Burks was not traded, and Detroit wants him still, and they'll probably keep him. Jay Crowder is probably gone. He did not play much at all with the Milwaukee Bucks in the playoffs, and he wants to play, so he will probably move to a different team for agency. Jakob Poeltl will probably stay because the Raptors kind of need him. They don't really have any other center, and they traded for him just a little ago, so they will probably want to re-sign him. Mason Plumlee will also probably stay because Clippers do need a backup center, and Mason's not a bad backup center, so he could probably help them still. And they just traded for him as well. Bruce Brown is a hard one because he's going to get a huge bag. He's going to decline his player option and get a really big bag, but I think the Nuggets will keep him because the Nuggets are a team that he flourishes on. The Nuggets are almost close to a championship, so that will even be better for Bruce Brown to stay. I'm going to go up to Pat Bev because that's the last starter here. But Cam Johnson, he is probably going to stay because the Nets are going to match any offer for Johnson. Donte DiVincenzo is different. I think he might leave, like, unless he accepts his player option. But Donte DiVincenzo was a really core piece to the Warriors. PJ Washington probably might leave because the Hornets, like, they were planning to trade him, but they didn't, so they might not re-sign him as a restricted free agency, but they might will as well. Herbert Jones is going to stay because he's their best defender on the Pelicans, and they will probably just pick up that team option. Max Strus is going to stay with the Heat. He's going to get a huge bag like Duncan Robinson did because he's a starter for the Heat, and he's shown that he can play. He's a main decent part for them going to the finals. Naz Reid, he might leave because Cat and Rudy are already there at center, but there's a good chance he might leave if other teams want him. A lot of teams are interested in him in the trade deadline. Kenyon Martin Jr. might leave because he requested a trade a while ago, but now I think things are quieted down, so he might stay, but he might leave as well. Austin Reeves staying. The Lakers are going to match every offer for him, and Patrick Beverley is going to leave. He wants a decent amount of money, and the Rockets are a team rumored to get Pat Bev. Now let's go to the All-Stars. There's a decent amount of All-Stars up to Brook Lopez from James Harden. James Harden's torn between the Philadelphia 76ers and Rockets, but I think he's going to go back to the Rockets because the Rockets, his family still lives there, I think, and he loves Houston. Houston loves him too. I don't know if he wants to be in Philly still because they lost a ton of times, but he might stay because Philly got Nick Nurse now. He just didn't like Doc Rivers. Chris Middleton will stay. He's a really core piece of the Milwaukee Bucks, and I think he likes it there with Giannis and Drew and all of them. Kyrie will probably stay, but it's kind of confusing because he might leave and decide to trade to the Lakers, but I believe he will stay. Porzingis will stay. Rumored that they wanted to extend him, but the new management has came, so it's a whole different story. I think the new management wants to rebuild, so Porzingis might be gone too. Vucevic will stay because the Bulls are working on a 3-year contract extension with him, and he's probably going to get that contract extension. Draymond will going to stay because not many other teams want him, and I think he's okay with staying. Steph really wants him back for at least one more year probably. And yeah, he might accept that player option, to be honest. Fred VanVleet, he might leave because there were rumors that Fred might leave. And there's a decent amount of suitors. If Rockets don't get James Harden, they will be interested. Or Orlando Magic are interested. And some other teams are probably interested. Maybe the Phoenix Suns are. But ultimately, if the Raptors choose not to rebuild, they will probably re-sign him, but they might be heading towards a rebuild because Pascal is in a ton of trade rumors. Jeremy Grant will stay. He's a main core piece of the Portland Trail Blazers. I believe they're working on a contract extension, and they want to contend still, and Grant is a great part of a contending team. Brook Lopez is probably going to stay as well because Brook is a huge part for the Milwaukee Bucks, and they will probably keep the core intact, although they lost to the Heat in the first round. And that's basically it. Thank you guys for watching. We're out.